Ahoy there, kids! Captain Ashley here, and I'm here to talk about cruise ships. How many of you have ever been on a cruise ship? Oh, wow! A lot of you said you have, but I also heard lots of you have not been on a cruise ship. Well, I hope one day that you are able to travel on a cruise ship because it's a lot of fun. Now, I have worked on cruise ships for the last 10 years and I have been able to travel all over the world and meet all kinds of amazing people. So, with 10 years working on cruise ships, I've learned a lot about them and I want to share a little bit about that with you today. So, I have a cruise ship that I want to show you, and it's kind of like a beach ball where you fill it up with air. So, here comes one of the cruise ships. Toot, toot. Wow, it's so big. So this is supposed to look like one of the ones that I worked on called Celebrity Cruises. That's the cruise line. And all of our cruise ships have an X on the top, kind of like a pirate ship. X marks the spot, right? And these are all the windows for the rooms where people can stay. There's some windows down here too. And these orange ones are the lifeboats in case of an emergency that people can get into lifeboats. And here you can see on the top, there's swimming pools, and this ship even has grass on the very top where you can go and play. So, oh, and on the front of the ship, it has a helicopter pad. So a helicopter could come and land on the ship if there was an emergency and somebody needed to leave, maybe if they needed to go see a doctor. We do have doctors and nurses on the ship, but sometimes people have to be rescued to go to a hospital on land. So here is what a cruise ship might look like. So today I thought I would read a story about a cruise ship, and it's called Peter the Cruise Ship. So let's find out a little bit more about cruising and the ship. Peter the Cruise Ship, here he is. And look, he's wearing a captain's hat just like me. Peter the Cruise Ship travels all over the world and has many adventures on the ocean. There he is. He's got windows and lifeboats too, just like the one I showed you. Most ships are Peter's friends. He meets many of them whenever he goes out to sea. So there's one of his ship friends, not the same where the passengers ride. He's a different kind of ship. Today, new passengers are coming on board. They arrive by plane, car, or bus. Now, I bet some of you have been on those before. How many of you have been on an airplane before? Yeah? And we all probably have been in a car, but how about a bus? There's lots of different ways to be transported and move around to different places. So they get to the cruise ship by car, plane, and bus. They bring lots of luggage and are very excited about cruising with Peter. Peter is really happy to see them and welcomes them with a blast of his horn. Honk. There's all the people getting on the ship. And then there's lots of crew members on board too. That's what I did. When I was on the ship, I would work in the fun factory, or sometimes it's called camp at sea. And I would look after all the children that would come on vacation and come and have fun and play games and do arts and crafts with me. And all of my youth staff friends. The captain steers the ship from the bridge. Now, it's not a bridge like you and I know, where it's a bridge where you drive on it to the other side. The bridge of a ship is where the captain drives the ship. He tells the sailors to be very careful. Peter is glad to have a good captain. Deep down below in the engine room, the engineer starts Peter's motors. The propellers start to turn. Chugga, 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 chugga. Kind of sounds like a train, right? Choo-choo train. Peter blows his whistle at the other ships. Honk, honk. They watch as Peter sails from the harbor. The passengers wave goodbye to their friends on the shore. See, people that are on the land are waving to everybody on the ship. Peter carefully steers toward the ocean. The red and the green buoys warn him of shallow water. And see, some of the other ships are also ships that are going clang, clang, beep, beep, toot, toot, ring-a-ling, ring-a-ling. Auga, auga. They all sound different. On the ocean, Peter meets up with his friends. Slick, let's see where's Slick, there he is. Slick is a container ship, so they carry big boxes of things. Rusty is an old cargo ship. There's Rusty. And Gulp is an oil tanker. So Gulp says chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug. And Rusty says huff puff, huff puff. And Slick says putter, 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 putter. Oh, what about this guy? What's he doing all by himself? But Peter and the other ships stay away from Push, the tugboat. Push always bumps into the other ships, and he's grumpy all the time. Do you think Peter's the biggest one? Peter the cruise ship? Oh, look, they're going all over the world. Peter and his friends travel all over the world. They visit Europe, Japan, China, India, Africa, Australia, and South America. They sail the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Indian Ocean. They love seeing all these different places. Now, the cruise ships, I've been on lots of different cruise ships, but I've been able to travel in the Caribbean. I've been to Alaska. I've been to parts of Canada. I've been to lots of places in Europe. I've even been up to Iceland. And let's see, I've been to the Middle East. I've been to Asia and here. I've been to Australia and New Zealand too. So I've been able to travel all over the world just like Peter and his friends. At night, Peter is guided by the stars. That's one of my favorite things to do, to go up to the top of the ship at night and to look up at the beautiful stars. And once when I was in Alaska, I even got to see the northern lights where it looks like somebody's painting the sky with colors mostly green, but it was beautiful. He knows the other ships by their red, white, and green lights. But at dawn, the weather starts to change. Uh-oh. Don't want to have bad weather on a cruise ship. The sea is wild. The waves are high and rough. The wind howls. There's thunder and lightning. All the ships are tossed around. Peter knows he has to stay away from the rocks. Oh no! Suddenly, Peter hears a cry for help in the distance. Help! Help! Oh man, the waves and the wind are making loud noises. It says whoosh, crackle, boom. Help! Who is it that needs help? It's Rusty. He can't handle the big waves any longer. Help! Rusty shouts. He is very afraid. Peter sails as fast as he can to rescue Rusty, and so does Push the tugboat. Sometimes the waves and the sea foam cover Peter completely, but he keeps going. Peter reaches Rusty first. Push arrives too. We'll save you, Peter shouts. Crash, whoosh, bang. Oh boy, it's scary to be on a ship when the wind is like that. Hold on, says Push. He throws a rope and bumps into Rusty. Oh, sorry, says Push. But Rusty doesn't mind the bump. He knows Push is doing his job. Thank you, Rusty says, while Push steadies him and pulls him to safety. Peter is glad they are now all friends. Push, too. Phew. Bump, bump. Chug, chug, sputter, sputter. Push tows Rusty to a harbor where they're greeted by Tim, the old tugboat, and his little son, Teddy. They will tow Rusty to the shipyard to be repaired. Whew, they're all okay. Finally, Peter arrives at his first port. It is a beautiful tropical island. He is in such a hurry to let down his anchor that he drops it on Fluke the whale. Ouch! Thump. Fluke is having breakfast with his family. Ouch, cries Fluke. What hit me? Aw, poor guy. At the end of the day, it's time for Peter to leave. Fluke is still angry. His head is very sore. Peter feels bad and wants to make up with Luke. Peter knows he has to apologize. Oh, there's a nurse shark. I'm sorry, Fluke. I was in a hurry because I was late after helping Rusty, he explains. That's okay, says Fluke. We all make mistakes. Oh, poor thing. He's got a bump on his head. Finally, Peter arrives back at his home port. Grumble, the bridge, complains. You're too tall. You will hit me. So Peter sails very carefully right under the bridge. All of Peter's friends are there. Honk, goes Rusty. Beep, beep, says Gulp. Clang, clang, says Slick. Oh, and there's Tim and Teddy and Push. All of his friends are there, including Push, to tell of the stories of their adventures at sea. How fun! The next day, Peter leaves the harbor again. He's ready for new adventures. Goodbye, he shouts as he sets sail. Oh, what a beautiful sunset. That's another awesome thing to look at from a cruise ship. The end. There's Peter. Wasn't that fun learning about cruise ships and other ships too? Let's see if you remember some of the things from the story. Do you remember what it was that Peter drops into the water that hits the whale on the head? What was it? It was part of the ship. It starts with the letter A. That's right, it was an anchor, just like my necklace. And ships have these anchors that are huge, and they lower them into the water so the ship can stay in one place and it won't float away. And that way they can, sometimes you put an anchor down and people can use the lifeboats to get in and to go to shore, or they'll get close to the land and then people can get off and enjoy the tropical islands and the European countries or wherever they are. So most ships, cruise ships, have something like this, an anchor. And a lot of times they'll have one on both sides. And then do you remember what it was called where the captain drives the ship? That one starts with the letter B. What was it? The bridge, that's right. Now on this one, the bridge would probably be, it usually sticks out on both sides, but it's usually about right here where they can see the helicopter pad. And the bridge is where the captain drives the ship. And you would think it would be like this giant ship's wheel, kind of like a pirate ship. But sometimes it's just a tiny little joystick, kind of like your video games. And buttons that they press, and a little bit of a wheel, but not like a big one that you think of on a pirate ship. Now, where else did we learn about on the ship in the book? Do you remember where the engineer is? Where does he work? Is it at the top of the ship or the bottom? That's right, he's down in the engine room and he works on the propellers. So the anchors would probably be right here on both sides, and then the propellers would be in the back to help it move along. And they would turn it on and it would push the ship away from the land. All right, I have a couple of cruise ships to show you. These are models or like mini versions of some of the ships that I've been on. This one was my very first ship and it was called the Celebrity Solstice. It's a beautiful ship that you could travel on if you want. So here it is, the Celebrity Solstice. It looks kind of like that one, the inflatable one I showed you. And there's the green part where the grass is. And they have a hot glass show on there too where you can watch people make art. And then, can you see? It's almost too bright. There's the swimming pool here. And there's the helicopter pad. And see how it sticks out on both sides right here? That's where the bridge is. And there's the lifeboats and all the windows for the people. Now here's another version of a different ship that I worked on. This one is the Celebrity Summit, and it looks kind of like this. This one's the elevator here that goes up and down, and up at the top there's a basketball court, and there's the swimming pool. So there's the Celebrity Summit. Now, if you go on a cruise ship, there's lots of different ones. Maybe you'll find one that has water slides and rock climbing walls and bumper cars and golf. There's so many fun things to do. There's some cruise ships that even have an ice skating rink that you can go on, or you can skate on. And my last one to show you is this one. I don't know if you can tell. This one is made out of like Lego bricks, and it even has a Lego captain, and it's got the little helicopter pad. This is one that I've put together, and it's got the orange lifeboats, and it even has the Celebrity X. So there are my cruise ships. Now, before I go, I want to play a little bit of a game with you to show you, or to help teach you, the different parts of the ship. So the front of the ship is called the bow. But if you're trying to ask for directions on the ship, if you want to go to the front of the ship, they'll say forward. And if you want to go to the back of the ship, they might just tell you to go back. But on a ship, it's called aft, A-F-T. So we've got the forward part of the ship and the aft part of the ship. And then usually the middle part of the ship is called midship, or middle. So what else? Let's see. So you know that the front, where the captain drives the ship, is called the bridge. And the engine room is usually in the bottom, sometimes in the back. We've got our lifeboats here. And, oh, I know. If you're trying to figure out where something is on the ship, it might be on the left side of the ship, or it might be on the right side of the ship. And that's called something on the ship too. It's called port and starboard. So if you want to find something on the left side, it's going to be port side, because left and port both have 4 letters. And then the right side would be the starboard side. And you can remember that by doing an L, and the L looks the right way, right? And so L for left, so left port side, and then right starboard side. So the game that I want to play is, I'm going to call out one of those places, so either forward, aft, port, or starboard, and then you have to move to that spot in the room. So if I say forward, you go to the front of the room. If I say aft, you go to the back of the room. If I say port, you go to the left side. And if I say starboard, you go to the right side. Now, if you can't do that where you are, you could just move your body. So you could go port side, starboard side, forward, and aft. And I might say, captain's coming. And if the captain's coming, you have to stop and say, ahoy, captain. And then you can salute the captain. And then we're going to pretend like you guys are crew members, and some of the crew members have to scrub the deck. So if I say, scrub the deck, that means you have to get down and you have to pretend like you're washing the floor of the ship. All right, so remember, if I say starboard, you're going to go this way. If I say port, you're going to go this way. If I say aft, you'll go back. And if I say forward, boop, you'll go to the front or forward. Are you ready? Okay, how about aft? Starboard. Aft. Forward. Okay, this time I'm gonna let you do it. Port. That's right. Aft. Starboard. Port. Forward. Aft, forward, starboard, port. Captain's coming, captain's coming. Ahoy, captain. All right, aft, port. Scrub the deck, scrub the deck, scrub the deck, scrub the deck. Captain's coming, captain's coming. Ahoy, captain. Forward, aft, forward, port. Aft, forward, captain's coming, captain's coming. Ahoy, captain. Starboard, starboard. We're already there. Port, starboard, aft. Scrub the deck, scrub the deck, scrub the deck. Forward, port. Captain's coming, captain's coming. Ahoy, captain. All right, you guys did an excellent job. So I hope you remember all the cool things about cruise ships, and that you can travel on a cruise ship and you can see the world and meet all kinds of awesome people and have a lot of fun. And now when you go on a ship, you know that there are anchors, there are captains on the bridge that are driving the ship, there are engineers in the engine room, and you know that the front is called forward, the back is called aft, the left side is called port, and the right side is called starboard. And that's it for me. Bye, everybody.